Hello everybody, today is Sunday, September 20th, 2020, 1:39 p.m. It's currently 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius, and I'm looking at a small lavender field with the bees pollinating the lavender. This video will be walking the entirety of 23rd Street in Manhattan. Right now I am right next to the Chelsea Piers building. And we'll start on 12th Avenue. Well, actually, no. Since this is the end of 23rd Street, let me walk over to the Hudson River, the mighty Hudson River. There's the Chelsea Piers down there. Cool spot to come, by the way. You can go to the Chelsea Piers. They got a lot of stuff like boats to go on cruises, a bowling alley. There's also a driving range there for golf. There's also an ice skating rink there and also a hockey rink. But there's a lot of stuff to do here in Chelsea Piers. And there's a skate park over here too. So this walk will take you through several neighborhoods. Going in order, I'll be walking through Chelsea, and then I'll go to Ladies Mile and the Flatiron District. And then after that will be the Kips Bay neighborhood. So about 3 or 4 neighborhoods altogether in this walk. Here is the Hudson River. Beautiful day today. You can make out some clouds in the sky, but for the most part, there aren't too many clouds. There's a carousel over there on Pier 62. Although it is a clear day, the weather is a little bit chillier than usual. I am wearing a sweater. There in the distance, you can see the skyscrapers of Hudson Yards.
I think a lot of it's bullshit too.
30 Hudson Yards is the building right in the middle with the observation deck called the Edge. The Edge at Hudson Yards, the tallest outdoor observation deck in the world. And here is a beautiful lawn. People are out here enjoying their day. Very nice. Having picnics. But I'm gonna walk over now towards the main area of 23rd Street. If I could find where the exit is. I think I might have to go up there. Looks like this is all fenced off for some reason. Well, actually I do know the reason. They want to protect all these fragile grasses over here. It's just so pretty. All right, I see an opening. I can get out from here. So I'm in luck. You can see the sign there, West 23rd Street. That's exactly where I'm going. Here's a sign of the times. Protect yourself and others. Wear a mask to stop the spread of COVID-19. It still shocks me to this day that we have such a thing in the world. A year ago, you never would have thought that something like this would happen. All right, we got a clear shot to 23rd Street, except for this Hudson River Greenway, which is a bikeway slash jogging way slash pedestrian way as well. I've also ridden my bike through the entirety of this Hudson River Greenway. It's a really nice ride. I have several videos there. Wait. Here's a avenue I really don't like to cross. This is 12th Avenue, also commonly referred to as the West Side Highway. All right, perfect, straight shot. That park I was just in, by the way, was called the Hudson River Park. Here's a skyscraper under construction. Seems like New York City will never be out of construction. There'll always be some form of construction. So what I'll actually do is walk on the left side of the street. I do not want to walk underneath the scaffolding. It's not a great view, and I think most of you wouldn't like it either. I did not know this park was called the Chelsea Waterside Park. Or maybe it's the same name as Hudson River Park. Many of the names here overlap with each other too. Like Ladies Mile is technically part of the Flatiron district. And you can even say that this area is part of Midtown Manhattan, because depending on who you ask, Midtown Manhattan can extend all the way as south as 14th Street. Looks like the name of this development going up is called the Cortland. Really impressive. And here's the bus stop for the M23 select bus service. You have to pay at the ticket machine before you board the bus. Chelsea Wine and Liquor Store. Looks very bright and inviting in there. I'm sure you can get many kinds of drinks to your desire, whether it's dry or sweet, different types of grapes from different countries. And over here across the street is the U-Haul facility, truck rentals, boxes, and moving supplies. Not sure if this is their headquarters in New York City, but looks like a big operation over there. I did forget to mention that 23rd Street runs all the way from 12th Avenue to Avenue C. And technically that's another neighborhood. Avenue C is Alphabet City. Or you can say it's Kips Bay as well. Luxury rentals available at the Tate. And over here, where I'm about to pass under, is the High Line, which used to be an elevated freight rail line, but now it's been repurposed into a public park, and it's been widely acclaimed by people around the world for its design. I've also done multiple walks of the High Line on my channel, especially during the pre-COVID times. I also walked this during COVID-19, but right now you do need to make a reservation to go onto the High Line, and the last time I was here, you needed to enter at Gansevoort Street only, and it was one way. But it looks like they changed their policy now. Now you can enter at any entrance, but it's only northbound from Gansevoort Street to 30th Street. I see there's people here, I guess, confused where to go, or I don't know. But regardless, I think it is one way only now, and you can enter at any entrance up to 30th Street. Before, this exit here, 23rd Street, was the last exit, but now they've extended the High Line to 30th Street. Here's 10th Avenue. Looking north on 10th Avenue, you can see the other side of the Hudson Yards neighborhood. What's incredible about the Hudson Yards neighborhood, cost multiple billions of dollars to build it. I think it was the most expensive private development in the history of the world. But it was built over the western end of Penn Station. All those train yards there. Here's a restaurant. They're doing outdoor seating. Looks very lively here. This is the Calle Dao Cuban Chinese cuisine. How about that for a fusion restaurant, huh? And it does smell good there. I smell a lot of cheeses. And of course, I'm walking on the scaffolding again. Take a look at some of these homes. They're really elegant looking. Nice little dog. Many New Yorkers own small dogs because they don't have the space for large dogs in their apartments. But the most common dog types I see are the French bulldogs and the pugs. Those are the most common small dog breeds. The neighborhood of Chelsea is mostly residential. I've also done a video through Chelsea if you'd like to see that. I think I walked 9th Avenue in that video for the most part, all the way to the Hudson Yards neighborhood. And I passed by the famous Chelsea Market, which is actually owned by Google now. They own the whole building, but it's a mixed food hall and office building. And Google paid a lot of money for that building. I think it was, I thought it was like $1 billion for that property that they paid. It was pretty crazy. I'm actually looking up the purchase price right now, so I can tell you. Yeah, Google bought the building for $2.4 billion. That's an incredible price to pay for a property. But I guess it made sense for them because they have the money already to afford a building like that, and it was across the street from the Google headquarters. But it's down there, the Chelsea Market. I just crossed over 9th Avenue. It's still residential over here. And you can see some local businesses like the Chelsea Hypermarket across the street, a smoke shop, West Side Tavern, and also a Mexican restaurant, the Tequila Mexican restaurant. Twenty-third Street doesn't really start to get too busy until you hit the Ladies Mile or Flatiron district, which is in about another block or two. It's a little bit breezy today too. It's very surprising. I've also heard some rumors that the smoke from the California and Oregon wildfires came all the way to New York City and covered the sun. That's why the temperatures are cooler over here. I don't know how true that is, but it seems like a logical conclusion for the chillier weather. There's the Leo house across the street. Looks very old. There's the M23 bus going eastbound. Wow, the temperature even dropped since I started my walk. It was 64 when I checked the temperature. Now it's, wait, it jumped from 59 to 61? Maybe this is wrong. But regardless, a 3-degree temperature drop is still a lot. Here's Dallas Barbecue. A lot of people out here dining out. It smells very good. I smell all the barbecue sauce already. Here's 8th Avenue. Looking out for the cyclists before I cross. Just press this button so we know when it's time to cross. Wait. And here's New York sports clubs, which filed for bankruptcy. They were hit very hard during the COVID pandemic because none of their gyms were open in New York, but yet they still charge people membership fees. There's actually a potential lawsuit, or maybe there is one already in the making, against New York sports clubs. But I know they did set some money aside to give people credit for their membership fees where their gym was closed. This New York sports clubs too also owns many other gyms under different names. I know one of them is the women's specific gym, Lucille Roberts. Here's Boston Market, Rotisserie Kitchen. Boston Market. and more scaffolding. But I don't think this will last for a long time. I hope it doesn't, because there's a very important building coming up that I want to point my camera up at. All right, good. It won't last. But it looks like that building itself across the street is under scaffolding now, so I'm glad I didn't walk on that side, because I wouldn't be able to talk about it that well. All right, trees in the way, so I'll talk about it after this tree. A lot of buildup, I know. Here's the Hotel Chelsea. It's a landmark building built between 1883 and 85. And it housed many residents, many famous residents of its time. As its name implies, it is no longer a place of residence, but it's hotels. Although they do have some residents left over from before the building changed over to hotels.
You don't gotta put nothing in my hand. Just
But many famous people who lived at the Hotel Chelsea was Mark Twain, O. Henry, Henry Hunk, Dylan Thomas, Arthur Miller, many famous writers. Also some actors like Stanley Kubrick and Russell Brand, and some musicians too. Iggy Pop was one of them, D.D. Ramone, Alice Cooper. Madonna lived in the Hotel Chelsea as well. Okay, here's 7th Avenue. Getting closer to the Flatiron district now. Very busy here on 7th Avenue. Also, the Whole Foods Market is on 24th Street. And there's also a spot here if you want to get some quick things to eat. Cheesesteaks, hot dogs, things of that nature. It's open 24 hours. Chelsea Papaya. There's also a dollar pizza place here, located conveniently next to the subway station, one train station. And here's Dumpling Dim Sum House. Looks sort of active right now. Never personally ate here, but their decor is pretty interesting. They got the paper lanterns up with some lights. And here's some more scaffolding. Newer design though. Looks like they're doing retail space release over here. This looks like a very impressive and modern residential building, the Salis Manor, or Salis. And then across the street you have a storefront for Peloton, famous for their bicycle model where you just ride a stationary bike at home, and they did very well during the lockdowns. Looks like they're also selling apparel in there. Townhouse Inn of Chelsea. King David Gallery, looks like it's closed. And here's a old looking building. It says up there St. Vincent Bank. 1857 to 39. Here's the Poster House Museum and Gallery. Oh, you have a show on China now in Switzerland? All right.
100 years of posters from China from the past 100 years.
Okay.
As well as posters on the Swiss grid.
Awesome.
So we have 2 gallery shows going on right now.
Okay, thanks.
You got it.
Yeah, there's a lot of galleries here in Chelsea that I forgot to mention as well. That's why they call it the art gallery place. It's hard to talk over this ambulance, so I'll repeat that again. But there's a lot of art galleries in Chelsea. Normally they do their exhibitions on Thursdays. You can go into the art galleries and browse the artwork and posters. And sometimes they'll serve wine and cheese to people attending. Then mainly they showcase the artwork so people can go in there and buy it. And there's some very talented people out there creating the artwork. All right, folks, here is 6th Avenue. As soon as I cross over 6th Avenue, I'll be entering the Flatiron district. Also, this one block between 6th and 5th of 23rd Street can also be part of the historic Ladies Mile neighborhood. Nicknamed because there were a lot of stores catered to ladies. Many department stores as well. I don't think the name Ladies Mile holds up too well today. Now there's a lot more options. You see Best Buy, Terry. Over here, not really too much. These just look like residences. Here's Outback Steakhouse. All right, now that I'm under the scaffolding, or out of the scaffolding, you can see some of the architecture of Ladies Mile. That building that houses the Home Depot, I think, was a former department store. But regardless, Home Depot does occupy a lot of space inside that building. It pretty much is like a department store for home goods and supplies.
For the charger?
Wow, there's a large crane here. I guess they're working on the building. They need the crane here. Don't be deceived by its looks. It's only in its standby phase. When the crane comes out, It reaches all the way to the top of the building and then even longer. Here's Ladies Mile again. There's ⁴ «ᴷ⁶⁷ across the street. And Manja. Not too many women's stores anymore, but the building still exists. And then over here is Italy, which is the Italian supermarket and grocery store, but they also house many restaurants inside. But now they have outdoor dining as well, so good on Italy for bringing their outdoor dining over here. They also have an amazing rooftop bar you can check out. I'm not sure if the rooftop bar is still open, but you can see here they're advertising their restaurant very prominently on this side of the building. And of course, this is probably the most famous part of 23rd Street, 23rd and 5th, mainly because of the Flatiron Building here. Very iconic skyscraper, known because of its shape, after the clothing iron. Originally it's called the Fuller Building. And there was a phrase that was coined from this area. It was called 23 skidoo, which means to shoo away from an area quickly. And many times there were men back then who stood here and just idled, watching women's skirts from flapping up because of the wind, because this area is so windy. The shape of the building just funneled all the wind, so they made it a crime for people to stay long and watch people do that. So that's where the name, the phrase 23 skidoo comes from. Also, who can forget this view? Let me pause over here. Empire State Building, Broadway in the background. And here's the other side of the Italy store. And the other side of the Flatiron Building. I think I can cross now. And here's Madison Square Park. Very famous park in New York City. Statue of William Seward. He was the governor of New York, also a U.S. Senator and the Secretary of State. Let's go into Madison Square Park just for a little bit, so I can show you more of the area. Now, over here at the corner of Madison Avenue and 23rd Street, we have several buildings erected by the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. The most famous being the Clock Tower building over here, which was the tallest building in the world for quite some time, for 4 years, before the Woolworth building in Lower Manhattan surpassed its height. And over there on that corner at 26th Street and Madison Avenue used to be the original location of Madison Square Garden. That's why still today it's called Madison Square Garden. It's where the New York Knicks play, but it's located right now at Penn Station's area. That happened because Penn Station, the owners of the railroad, demolished the old train station and made real estate available to build on top of the train station. So Madison Square Garden moved in. Here's 23rd and Madison. Gotta wait for the light here. Once again, here's the clock tower building, MetLife clock tower from this angle. Very majestic. And also you can see a new skyscraper off in the distance. That's the Vanderbilt Tower next to Grand Central Terminal. See the traffic picked up a little bit here in the Flatiron district. While this whole corner is under scaffolding, the MetLife building. Here's Park Avenue South. It's not called Park Avenue. Originally, Park Avenue is called 4th Avenue, but because what happened was there's a story between Grand Central Terminal why 4th Avenue was renamed Park Avenue. So at the time, the railroad business was suffering. So what the railroad company did was deck over the train lines north of the terminal, and they turned it into real estate. Companies could build on top of the rail tracks. So they built the buildings there and they renamed the street Park Avenue. But then the people here south of Grand Central Terminal, they also wanted to be Park Avenue as well because it's a cooler name. So the city went along with it, and now we have Park Avenue and Park Avenue South. And 4th Avenue still exists, by the way. It's just a short segment between 14th Street and St. Mark's Place, 8th Street, or the Bowery. Here's Latin cuisine arepas, and also the bubble tea spot that's very good in the city, Kung Fu Tea. I like the name of this Vietnamese restaurant over here, the Pho. It's spelled P-H-O, but it's not pho, it's pho. So what the pho, man? Here's Gramercy Theater. Hashtag NYC strong. All right, so I've approached Lexington Avenue, walking into the Kips Bay neighborhood. Looking towards the left along Lexington Avenue. You can see the Chrysler Building off in the distance on 42nd Street. And over here is the main building for Baruch College, which is a city university school. It's most well known for their business program, as well as reasonable tuition rates. You can see etched on the top there, it says the College of the City of New York. Are you sure they're not going to be mad at you or something?
Oh, they're going to be so mad. I feel like we shouldn't go in. I really said that.
Well, Pages don't either.
No, last night.
So Kips Bay neighborhood is mostly residential as well. Along the avenues is where most of the commercial activity is. Especially closer to the First Avenue area. There you'll see most of the city hospitals. Like Bellevue Hospital is the largest city hospital in the area. There's also the NYU hospitals there, and also the Veterans Affairs Hospital. You see here. I'm here now. Gramercy's to my right, and Kips Bay's to my left. All right, you won't get to see more New York than this. Pigeons chowing down on some rice and fruits. Here's 3rd Avenue. I think 3rd Avenue is one of the traditional avenues still left in terms of road configuration, because most of the other avenues, they've had bus lanes added, bike lanes, things of that nature. 3rd Avenue is pretty much the only one that they left untouched. What's going on over here? I thought this was part of the bank's property, but it's for that pub down there, the tap room. They extended it all around the corner. But this bank building is no longer here, so I guess that pub just took over all the space. I don't see any harm there because the bank is no longer there. Firefighter Dan DeFranco building over here. Here's the SVA. I didn't even know what this stands for until I looked at the door, the School of Visual Arts. And I think that's another building for the SVA across the street, the Media Arts Building. And here you have the Epiphany branch of the New York Public Library. Right now the libraries are open, but I think you cannot go into the libraries to browse. You need to place your order for your books online, and You go there just to pick up the books and return books, that's it. Or media. Now the library has stuff like CDs and digital copies of material, which is definitely needed now in 2020. They even do ebooks now. It's getting a little bit more breezy now. Here's 2nd Avenue. Love this sign here because it's true. Please do not feed the pigeons. Also, you're feeding the rats. Looks like the pigeons made a home there underneath all these hedges. There's also the local grocery store here, Morton Williams. Very convenient right underneath this residential building. I can just see the end of 23rd Street already by the FDR Drive. Also, here's the Morton Williams Wine and Spirits location. It's rather quiet on this side. Queen Jane Nail and Spa doesn't even look like it's open right now. All the lights are off. And City Catering and Cafe, also very quiet. All right, here's 23rd Street and 1st Avenue, where all the big hospitals are, as well as Peter Cooper Village to my right. I actually did a walkthrough of Peter Cooper Village, as well as its sister site, Stuyvesant Town, right to the south of it. If you'd like to check that video out. Here you can see the Veterans Affairs Hospital, and Bellevue's short distance up there. Looking down 1st Avenue. It's also very busy here because many of these cars, they want to go towards the highway, the FDR Drive at the waterfront, right by the East River. Here you can see the entrance to the VA hospital. And across the street is Stuyvesant Town, which coincidentally enough was developed by the MetLife Insurance Company, the same company that built the clock tower back there next to Madison Square Park. But the idea of it originally was to house all the people coming back from World War II. They all needed a place to stay, and they were having lives of their own and families of their own. So the MetLife company really wanted to market the buildings to those people. But it's been through many different ownership changes throughout the years, and there's been a lot of controversy as well, racial discrimination being one of them. But now Stuyvesant Town and Peter Cooper Village are privately owned, and it's not cheap to live there anymore, I'd put it that way. I just saw a New York City ferry boat go up the coastline of the East River. Here's Astor Levy Place, or Levi Place. Looks like a nice little spot to relax, hang out. Let's take a look at this building too. It's quite short though, it's only about a block long. But there's the Astor Levi Recreation Building. On the top there it says free public bath. I'm not sure if there are public baths here anymore. All right, I'm almost at the end. Also, there really isn't a great view at the end of 23rd Street, if I must say. There is a ferry station directly to the north here at Kips Bay. But what marks the end of 23rd Street is no other than a gas station. And this is one of the few gas stations remaining in the heart of Midtown Manhattan and downtown Manhattan. Gas stations have mostly been obsolete, and gas stations were able to get better income from their property than to just sell gasoline. They just sold it to a building management company or things of that nature in order to get more income. They build multiple stories, rent out the properties, and you can do more than, you can do better than selling gasoline. Here's an exit ramp of the FDR Drive. Also, the gas prices here are not cheap at all. You can see here, here's the ferry terminal at Waterside. This area, Waterside, is a very nice residential complex. You can go there, walk by the water, and has a lot of nice things. But I don't need to cross the street right now. I think just leaving you off here with this video is good enough. But my gosh, it's $3.99 for regular gasoline here and $4.89 for ultimate. So because this is one of the few gas stations remaining in this part of Manhattan, they have to charge the prices that they do. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this long video from the Hudson River to the East River along 23rd Street. If you did, be sure to smash the like button for me, subscribe for some more videos and live streams, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.